Round 10 of the 1986 Formula One World Championship is the West German Grand Prix at the high-speed circuit of Hockenheim, just south of Frankfurt. It's a fast circuit, 4¼ miles long, with a stadium section with huge packed banked grandstands and 2 long straights interrupted by chicanes. The weather is hot and humid, the crowd large, and there's been a lot of talk during practice because Keke Rosberg has announced that he will retire at the end of the season, and Team Lotus have announced that they'll be using Honda engines next season. Rosberg, as if to celebrate the fact that this will be his last year in Grand Prix racing, takes an excellent pole position. His McLaren teammate Alain Prost is second quickest. On the second row, Ayrton Senna is third fastest, with Gerhard Berger, there he was in the green Benetton, fourth. Then the 2 Williams Hondas, fifth and sixth, with Nelson Piquet once again fractionally faster than his teammate Nigel Mansell, who is currently leading the World Championship after his recent string of victories. On the fourth row, Riccardo Patrese. In the Brabham, he's back in the new BT55 for this race, and René Arnoux in his Ligier Renault. Row 5, Teo Fabi's Benetton and Michele Alboretto's Ferrari. Row 6, Stefan Johansson's Ferrari and Johnny Dumfries in his Lotus. It's a 44-lap race. At the start, watch for Ayrton Senna coming from the third grid position to squeeze between the front 2 McLarens, almost pushing Alain Prost onto the grass. There's the green light. Here comes Senna. A big wiggling slide for Prost, but Senna has made a perfect start. Berger's gone through into second place. Stefan Johansson runs over Alliot and pushes Teo Fabi off. Stefan Johansson's Ferrari does continue, although it's damaged and will need a pit stop. But poor Teo Fabi is in the barriers with the Benetton. He's unhurt, but he's out of the race. So Senna leads from Rosberg, Berger, Piquet, Prost and Mansell. Senna pulls away as Berger slots into second place. This is the second chicane at the Ostkurve. Down the back straight and towards the third chicane, Senna, Berger, Rosberg, Piquet, Prost. Berger is attacking Senna from behind. Rosberg's hanging back a little bit at this stage, with still Piquet in fourth place. Into the stadium and the tight left-hand Sachskurve for the first time. Fifth is Prost, sixth is Nigel Mansell. On to the start-finish straight, and Rosberg is closing up in third place, starting to challenge Berger. Still Senna has the lead. For the second time, they go on to the fastest section of the circuit, the slightly kinked first straight where the cars get up to over 200 miles an hour. And Rosberg makes a tremendous move to the outside to pass Berger and passes Senna as well, going from third to first in one magnificent effort. So now it's McLaren in front. Keke Rosberg leads. Senna is second. Berger has dropped to fourth behind Piquet. Prost is fifth. Mansell is sixth. And seventh is Michele Alboretto. Now Piquet challenges Senna going into one of the chicanes and squeezes through in a brave move. It's the start of a tremendous charge from Nelson Piquet, which will use the Williams Honda's power to the utmost. Berger's fine run is delayed by a long pit stop. And here comes Piquet to take the lead from Keke Rosberg. So it's first Piquet, second Rosberg, Nigel Mansell, however, has a handling problem, sliding onto the grass and letting both Alboreto and René Arnoux past. Up into third place comes Alain Prost in the other McLaren. But Piquet makes an early stop for tyres after only 15 laps, to the astonishment of team manager Patrick Head, who shouts into his radio. But the pit stop goes well. Piquet rejoins, having only dropped to fourth place. Now the order is first, Keke Rosberg, second, Alain Prost, and third, Ayrton Senna. Rosberg comes in for his routine stop for tyres at half distance. For him too it goes well, just under 7.5 seconds. Alain Prost is in a lap later, and his stop takes only a second more. But all of this has put Nelson Piquet back into the lead. Although having made an early stop, he's going to need a second stop for his third set of tyres for this race. In he comes, and once more he loses the lead, dropping to third place this time. But on his fresh rubber he starts a tremendous drive, which soon has him going past second man Alain Prost. So now it's first Keke Rosberg's McLaren and second Nelson Piquet. Piquet closes rapidly on the leader Rosberg and once more goes round the outside, just as Rosberg did at the beginning of the race, to take the lead as they approach that first chicane. So, despite his 2 pit stops, Nelson Piquet gets back in front. First Piquet, Williams Honda, second Rosberg, McLaren, third Prost, McLaren. But Piquet is running low on fuel and he starts to weave on the last lap. Rosberg has run out of fuel altogether. Prost is slowing for the same reason, and Ayrton Senna suddenly appears in second place in Lotus number 12. Once again, the Formula One fuel consumption regulations are playing a major role in the closing stages of this race. Piquet's car is very short of fuel, but he manages to nurse it to the finish line, to enormous cheers from the crowd. So Nelson Piquet wins his second Grand Prix of the year. Ayrton Senna, almost completely out of fuel, weaves his way up to the finish line and just makes it. But Alain Prost, who should have finished third, is out of fuel completely. With a dead engine, he coasts towards the line. Nigel Mansell has gone through to take third place, and poor Prost has to try to push his car to the line. The crowd cheer him on, but René Arnoux goes by to take fourth place, and eventually Prost has to give up the struggle. He walks away with a despairing gesture. Jonathan Palmer, who's blown up in the closing stages, gets a lift back from his Zakspeed teammate Hugh Brottengatter. And Nelson Piquet, the winner, gives the unfortunate Keke Rosberg a lift home. So Nelson Piquet wins, Ayrton Senna second, Nigel Mansell third. René Arnoux takes a distant fourth place, and the 2 McLarens, having completed 43 laps, get 5th and 6th places. Piquet and Senna both wave the Brazilian flag on the rostrum. In the red, in the background, is Nigel Mansell, who finished third. Piquet sprays the traditional champagne, and so does Mansell. And Senna on the left. With 6 races still left to run, there are really only 4 drivers in with a real chance of the championship. Mansell is still the leader, now by 7 points from Prost, with Senna a further 2 points down, and Nelson Piquet 4th. In the Constructors' Championship the order is still the same, but Williams Honda have an enormous lead of 26 points.